How does someone take action toward their goals when they can barely get out of bed in the morning?
They don't. I think the action that they work on is getting out of bed in the morning. You know, we can sometimes feel overwhelmed with all of the things we need to do or want to do. But if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling like I can't get out of bed in the morning, you really just want to focus on the task at hand, which is like, Abraham talks about you don't have to jump the emotional scale. So if you're feeling really low, you don't have to try to jump to feeling amazing and going for your dreams and doing all your goals, doing all the actions for your goals. It's about incremental increases. Like, could I just feel a little bit better? Can I somehow focus on getting myself better so I feel good enough to get out of bed? Can I then maybe take a shower? Or could I maybe do some exercise to get my heart rate going and build those endorphins and just take care of myself? Can I climb that ladder so that from here, then you can feel a little better in here and then here, right? And you're incrementally climbing so that when you get to a place then when you can finally start to feel good, then you can focus on going for your goals. But I think that, our mental health is so much more important than any goal. And so it's so important. I always tell my clients too, like your alignment, your energy should be your priority above all. So if you are feeling really rejected one day and you're feeling really down, don't go email 10 more agents because you don't feel good. Wait until you feel better. Make your energy the priority. Work on what can I do to make myself feel better, to shift my energy. That has to be my priority. Then I'll go take those actions. Because you really want to take the action from a place where you feel good so that you get that reflected back to you. Plus, when you're feeling good, you'll be led to better ideas. When you can't even get out of bed, you're not going to have that amazing idea, to take some new risk.
And going back to your job scenario, which is a great example, you finally got this one job, which was more of a survival job, and it really helped you just get out of your own mindset, all this stuff. And then that's when the job that you really wanted came calling.
Totally. And again, that's why I say, I'm so grateful for that waitressing job. It really helped shift my energy and get me out of feeling depressed. And yeah, that did really good things for me.
Yeah. What do you consider the impossible dream?
Well, the title of my book has that word in quotes in the subtitle because I don't think that anything's impossible. I really don't. And I know that sounds cheesy. Oh, nothing's impossible. But you can't think that anything you want is impossible or else you'll never go for it in the manner that it's going to require. So I don't think anything's impossible. I think other people might tell you that they think it's impossible. There might be data or evidence that suggests it might be challenging. But any obstacle or any challenge, to me, that's not enough information to say, oh, that's too impossible. I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't even try. So yeah, I don't believe that anything is impossible.
How would you handle if one of your clients was giving up on their quote unquote Hollywood dream and you feel like maybe that's the right decision for them?
I've never felt that way ever. I would never feel that way. Again, though, it's not my decision. It's not up to me. I would never decide if someone should go for it or not, or if someone should quit or not. That has to come from them alone. And so I would just encourage them to get in touch with their true desires and their true feelings to help them figure out what's the right move for them. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone saying, I want to do something else now instead. That's okay too. I mean, look at me. I worked in television for all these years and then I was like, I want to coach. I want to help other people. So, our dreams change sometimes, but I would never be the one to tell someone that they should quit or they shouldn't do this.
Have you ever seen it where someone comes to you and they say, I'm not getting to X, Y, and D in my career, and then you realize, well, this was just the total wrong path for them?
No.
You've never seen that? Okay.
No. Again, I know I romanticize it a little bit, but I also think that is a superpower. I think it's okay that I romanticize it because that has led to my success. But I truly believe if they have this dream, then they can make it happen. And so it really just comes down to them having the desire. If you have a desire for a dream, I will help you. I believe that you can make it happen. It's as simple as that for me.
When did you first hear of Abraham Hicks?
Oh gosh, years ago. I don't remember. 5 years ago, maybe. I went to one of their live events a couple years ago. Yeah. Right, yeah. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
And it's all about manifestation?
It's law of attraction. You know, Esther Hicks channels an entity called Abraham. I know that's very weird if you're new. It might be too woo for you, but it's just information about law of attraction where people just ask them questions and they answer. And it's, no matter what they ask, it's very applicable to what they're going through anyone's life. So, so I've been listening for years because it helps me and I like it.
Yeah. What are the big problems that are arising for artists during COVID? And how are you helping them through it?
I love this question because I have been humbled with the answer to this question. I have really learned a lot. I have seen proof during COVID that absolutely anything is possible. And to me, that is incredible. I always give these examples. Sarah Cooper. I don't know if you know Sarah Cooper. She's a comedian, a writer. She posted on social media these funny videos, or on TikTok, I think, and she blew up. And she was already I think she was already doing some work, but she just blew up during the pandemic while Hollywood is shut down. Like things aren't even filming at all. And she ends up getting a Netflix special. And she also was invited to do the opening night monologue on one of the late night TV shows. And she did a phenomenal job. I watched it, I was so impressed. It's a great example of even when the industry is shut down, opportunities still exist. And to me, that has been so humbling because, I can fall into the victim mode of oh my gosh, this is so hard. I mean, look, my business, I lost 60% of my business during the pandemic. But I did pivot and I was well, how else can I serve people right now? How else can I help people right now? Instead of just throwing in the towel, right? So I think, the way that I'm supporting my clients during the pandemic is a little different now because things have started up and things are filming. I mean, not as much as before, but things are filming. But I'm really, empowering them to believe that their dreams are still possible during this time. I mean, there are other artists that have, really blown up and gotten a lot of attention and opportunity during this time. Caitlin Riley is another example. Her Instagram account blew up. She does this hilarious 60-second videos that people really related to and really loved. And her account blew up. I see she getting sponsored deals now, so it's been humbling. It's Erica, come on, you teach this, that anything is possible. And so that's been exciting for me to learn, really anything is possible at any time. There's no wrong time to pursue your dream. Even this pandemic, I don't think it's the wrong time.
And you started your book in February 2020?
Yeah, I started writing it in February, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So I wrote a book during the pandemic, yeah.
And now you're doing the audiobook?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're basically saying, okay, one part, you said you're pivoting. So at what point did you say, okay, I'm showing up at the computer today to write this first page of this book?
I don't mean to sound annoying, but I never struggled with that.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't. Because when I got the idea for the book wasn't a strategic pivoting move from the pandemic. It was just happened to be in December of the previous year of 2019, October, November, December is when I started to get the nudge to write the book. And so I was already planning to do it before the pandemic happened. And I talk about this in the book, but it just felt like I was divinely guided to write this book and I had to get this message out. And so it was a challenging path in terms of I rewrote the first chapter 100 times, that it was challenging in finding my voice and how do I want this book to just be for Hollywood or do I want it to be for everyone? And that was an interesting learning experience, figuring that, solving that problem and figuring out, do I want this message to be applicable to everyone? And if I do, how much Hollywood do I include? How much do I exclude? So there was, challenges in that aspect, but I never really struggled with oh my gosh, I have to sit down at the computer today and write this.
Right, going back, you said you're a self-starter.
Yes, I just felt very inspired to do it. But look, the audiobook is taking me forever because it's so much work and I'm not really I've only recorded a chapter and a half. So, yeah.